What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk today about Marvel Snap and about the 6 most powerful decks in Pool 1. So if you're unfamiliar with Marvel Snap in general and how the game works, essentially you'll unlock these cards at the beginning of the game all the way up until you unlock Odin. Once you unlock Odin, that will be when you begin unlocking random cards. So you'll unlock all these known cards, and then you'll start to unlock these random cards. Now this goes all the way up until really like up to thousands and thousands, but it goes up to 214, and that will be the last card you unlock from what we call Pool 1. Now you can unlock these in any order from different players, but you will unlock all of the Pool 1 cards before you unlock any Pool 2 cards. So that will be up until 214, and the reason this is important is you will get paired against other players based around your collection level. So if you're under 214 or 214 and under, you will be able to pair against any other player in Pool 1. Once you get to Pool 2, then you'll start pairing against players in Pool 2. So I am calling this the 6 best decks that I think are in Pool 1. So that is below 214. So let's dive in and talk about each of the 6 strategies that I think are viable within that Pool 1. I think first and foremost, on reveal is probably the most basic because you get Odin first. You get him very quickly, and he is your win condition at the end of the game. So essentially this deck is based around on reveal type units, and I'm not going to go through every unit for every deck, but I'll jump through the highlighted ones, the important ones for each. So Ironheart is a really important one on reveal. She gives 3 other friendly cards plus 2 power. So that is 3 mana for 6 power throughout your board, as long as you have 3 other units on the board. White Tiger is really the heart of this deck, who on reveal adds a 7 power Tiger to another location. She herself only has 1 power, but you get another randomly placed between the other 2 locations that you didn't play White Tiger at. You get a 7 attack Tiger Spirit, which is crazy. Odin is the big finisher. He's an 8 attack himself for 6 mana, and he activates the other on reveal abilities at this location on his reveal. So you play him on top of a White Tiger and an Ironheart, and you get those on reveal abilities elsewhere. Sprinkle in some other cool pieces of hardware here, like Medusa, who's also an on reveal and plus 2 attack at the middle location, so you can double that. Spider-Woman, in case you don't see White Tiger, who is a 7 attack and will -1 from the entire opposing board at that location, which is really important, so it can be a total of -4 power. Doubling that is huge, and you just have a really solid deck that you get to just kind of, it's like a battle cry deck from Hearthstone. You're playing a lot of battle cry units that are immediately having impact on the board when you play them, and you're getting pretty high power pretty quick, and you can really start climbing with this on reveal deck. I think this is one of the first decks you should build and one of the easiest. Now if you don't have all these cards, of course, just kind of filter in some other cards. There's plenty of other options. Mainly the pieces are Ironheart, White Tiger, and Odin. You can fill in the rest how you like. Ongoing, I think, is the other really important strategy early. It's a really fun deck. I kind of go overboard and do mostly ongoing units, but you don't need all of your units to be ongoing, but this is the type of deck I like to play when I do this strategy. Essentially, I'm just having a wide variety of units that have ongoing abilities. Armor and Colossus, they're simple, but big ones are Mr. Fantastic, who gives adjacent locations plus 2 power. The Claw, who gives the location to his right plus 6 power, so they both have their own power and give adjacent power, which is great. And then you have other things that are giving power across the board, like Blue Marvel, who gives +1 power to all of your cards, so you can start getting a little bit of swarm action going early. Captain America, who ongoing gives your location, give other cards in this location +1 power. Very good. But the reason I have this many ongoing cards is because my big win condition here is Spectrum. At the end, I like to play Spectrum, who on her reveal gives your ongoing cards +2 power. Now this is not just at her location, but across the board, so it can be a massive swing playing her at one location, adding her 5 power to that location, but then +2 power to almost all of your units. Really the only ones that don't have that are Squirrel Girl and herself, and the squirrels that she would make. The rest have it, so this is the type of ongoing deck I like to play. You can easily slot in Iron Man here, who ongoing doubles your power, or Onslaught, who ongoing doubles your other ongoings. So there's a lot of options for the ongoing deck. This is just the one I prefer a bit, but feel free to mix and match some cards in there, and there's a lot of different win conditions with the ongoing deck. The next, I think, is Destroy. I've kind of combined Destroy and Discard. Now, this is one of the weaker, I think, of the archetypes that are available for Pool 1. but because I think it just needs a little bit more support, but I still really love the playstyle of the deck. So it's really all about running cards that are going to either discard cards or want to be discarded or slash destroyed. So Angel just bounces into combat when you destroy a card, and of course we run things that want to get destroyed like Nova. So when it's destroyed, give cards +1 power. Also things like Wolverine, when it's discarded or destroyed, so this fits both archetypes, you play it at another random location. So it could even get played back onto the same location, but if it's from your hand or if it's on the board, it will get played again. And then you got to run some things that will destroy those, right? So you run Carnage, who will destroy other cards here. He gets +2 power for each destroyed. Deathlock, who will destroy other cards at this location, and he also offers 5, and that's kind of where the destroying mechanic comes in. The discard mechanic comes from Lady Civ, Swordmaster, Blade. They all discard cards. Once you discard enough cards, if you get your hand empty, Strong Guy for 4 could be 10 power, but the main key of the deck is Apocalypse for sure. He is a 6-drop, 8 power. Whenever you discard him, he gets +4 power, and then just goes right back to your hand. So he keeps your hand extremely healthy and fresh, while also increasing his own strength. Super strong deck, very fun to play, but I do think the other ones offer a little bit more versatility, and I think in Pool 2 this deck opens up a little bit more. Another one here is Move. Again, I have the same opinions. I think it's a really fun deck. I just think that you need some of the Pool 2 cards to make it consistent, but this is all about moving different cards throughout locations. So Iron Fist will move a card, the next card you play, one location to the left. Nightcrawler himself can move once. And of course, you can add in things like Kraven, who will get extra power when things move to him. Multiple Man, who will duplicate himself when he is moved. The new Miles Morales, who will cost only 1 mana when something moved on the previous turn, which is super cool. And again, Heimdall at the top end. You know, every deck normally has at least one top end unit. This one moves every card you have one location to the left. I think this is a very kind of inconsistent pile just because you have to really, really think ahead. Now, if you can do that and you can pilot it well, great. That's really good for you, and I think you can sneak in some crazy wins, but I don't think there's enough movement here early to actually make this deck function in Pool 1, but some people really like the playstyle, so I'm including it on the list as it's still one of the top contenders for the Pool 1 decks. If you really are sold that you want to start having a deck that's going to move around, jump locations, I would start somewhere around here. Of course, fill in some holes if you need to. Up next is Swarm, which might be the easiest to make and also one of the strongest. It's all about just swarming the board with lots and lots of units. So you want to have full locations, so you want to use things like Ant-Man, who get extra power if the location's full. Wolfsbane, same thing. And then cards that grow with power. Angela, when you play a card here, +2 power. Bishop, when you play a card, +1 power. So lots of things that are just growing, lots of multi-summoning units like Squirrel Girl, who will summon extra squirrels. Mr. Sinister, who will summon a Sinister clone, and then plenty of buffs. So your buffs come from Captain America, buffing other units, Khazar, buffing every other 1-cost unit you have on the board, and Blue Marvel buffing your entire board. So this type of list is all about just swarming the deck. People call this like Zoo, like from Hearthstone, you're familiar with that. It's like a rush deck. You're kind of just swarming the area, getting a lot of units on the board, giving them a lot of buffs, a lot of power, and then overwhelming any big units your opponent has. Very viable strategy, very strong strategy. Up last is probably my favorite. Not really sure it's the most powerful, but it's definitely my favorite to play. It has a lot of flexibility. It's kind of the draw deck. It's all about keeping your hand fresh with cards like the Mantis, who on reveal, if your opponent played a card here this turn, you get to draw a card from their deck, which is fun. Cable, who puts the bottom card of your opponent's deck on top of your deck, which is also into your hand, which is also fun. And the Sentinel, who will replenish himself every time you play him, so you get a new Sentinel in your hand each time. Keeps your hand really fresh, gives you lots of options, including some from your opponent, all in order to buff this giant Devil Dinosaur. He has a 3 attack for 5, but he gets +2 for each power for each card in your hand. Now you only can have a max of 7 cards, so that's a max of +14 power, which is a 17 total. Typically, you'll end up probably around +10 or +12, which is still 5 mana for a 10 or really a 13 or 15 power dinosaur, which is crazy. And if you get lucky enough to hit a Moon Girl on the Devil Dinosaur, she will duplicate that. So on turn 4, you play Moon Girl, duplicate your whole hand, then you could play Devil Dinosaur 5 and then Devil Dinosaur on turn 6 and really just swing 2 locations crazily. Beyond that, it has a lot of flexibility by being able to play cards from your opponent's deck and just kind of really win multiple locations with Devil Dinosaur. I think it's a really fun deck, and probably at my highest, I suggest this type of list for you. I think this is the most fun you'll have playing it, at least if you play like me. As far as power level goes overall, I think Swarm, Draw, and On Reveal are probably three of the stronger ones. Ongoing is really good as well, and then Destroy and Move, I think, definitely deserve at least a spot up here, but they could use a little bit of work. So let me know what you guys think, what decks you've been playing. Let me know how you feel about Marvel Snap in general. I'll keep making a little bit of content for the game. I've been enjoying it, so hopefully you guys have as well. If I missed any of your favorite decks here for Pool 1, let me know, and if you think you have any suggestions for the 6 decks I'm running right now, feel free to leave them in the comments. Stay subscribed, and I'll see you next time.